Hello students, let's continue with the chapter 5, the Sri Krishna eating house. We have completed the first part of the chapter. Now we shall start with the second part. We can also take page 68. It was certainly the cheapest restaurant anyone could possibly find in Mumbai. Even a beggar could afford to buy himself a meal here. And the usual customers were beggars and coolies who had stopped between carrying their loads. So in this paragraph, it tells there that it was certainly the cheapest restaurant anyone could afford a meal here. And even who are the customers here? Mainly the beggars and the coolies. They were the customers. They stopped their way and get into the shops and have some meals. And between carrying their loads, sack of oil and cylinder gases and cart pullers who dragged goods through the city on a long wooden hand-drawn carts. So these were the customers, the cart pullers, the coolies, the beggars. They were the customers who came to this particular restaurant. And the price was very cheap, so they could afford a meal there. These people seemed to have no fixed working hours. They did not have any fixed working hours or a proper time of their work. So before daylight, there were some waiting for a meal who were given the leftover of the night before. So they were there, some of them were waiting for the meals without any money, and the owner of the restaurant could give away the leftover meals to them. When the whole city seemed to collapse into the exhausted, disturbed sleep. Exhausted means extreme tiredness, and the whole city was in deep sleep late at night. So of course the owner had no time to sweep or clean his restaurant or the money to decorate it with a picture and the flowers. So now we can understand why the Sri Krishna eating house did not have much decorations or did not have any hanged any picture on the wall, or they did not have any paintings. So what is the reason? The reason is that mainly the coolies, the beggars, the very poor people came and had their meals there. And also they took very less amount from them, very cheap amount. So compared to other restaurants, they were taking such a huge amount for a meal, but these people have taken very less amount, and also at any time they could come and have their meals. Maybe the whole city may be in a deep sleep, but the restaurant, the Sri Krishna restaurant was full night. They were awake, and those who don't have the money, they used to give the leftover meals. So you can imagine how they could serve the people. And also, you can imagine how they had no time even to clean the restaurant and tidy the restaurant or to decorate the pictures or keep the pictures in front of the god or goddess. That much tired they were, and they had to work day and night. He worked hard himself all day and had two boys to help him knead the dough in huge pans, roll out the chapatis and bake them over open fires which they kept lit day and night. You can see, here it is mentioned about the Hari. So Hari worked hard himself all day and night. And who were there to help him? Other two boys were there to help him to mix the wheat flour, in a huge pans. How they were mixing the wheat flour? They were mixing it in a huge pan and rolled the chapatis and baked them over the open fire which they kept lit the day and night. It was the chapatis were rolled and they made the fire was outside. So whole day, night they were making the chapatis. When Hari said the next morning, after being handed a tumbler of tea and rolled up chapati without his asking for anything, I have no money to pay for all this food you are giving me. Will you lend me work in your kitchen instead? So, the next morning Hari got up and the Sri Krishna eating house, the owner of the Sri Krishna eating house, he was very kind to him. He gave him a cup of tea and a rolled chapati to have. So Hari told that I don't have any money to give you, but if you can give me a work here, I will be very grateful to you. Okay? And the man considered it for only a moment, frowning as he thought. So the man just thought for a while and then he said, yes, I can do with another boys in the kitchen. So you can do the work here along with the other two boys in the kitchen. Okay, start by washing these pots, then you can knit the dough and help roll out the chapatis. Start by washing the dishes, the utensils here, and also you can mix the wheat flour and make chapatis along with the other two boys. That is the work Hari got in the restaurant. If you like, you can stay here and work for your meals. And 1 rupee day like the other boys. So I can give you only 1 rupee per day. And if you like, you can continue working here. Okay. So the next paragraph is, so Hari went to work in a small kitchen at the back of the eating house. So he went at the back of the eating house and started working. He saw there was nothing to score. Nothing to score means to clean the pot. There was nothing special to clean the pots except some blackened coconut husk, the ash from the fire, and he did the best he could do with. So there was nothing special to clean the dishes. He had taken the coconut husk and also the ash from the fire. That was the materials, the things which he used to clean the dishes. You can imagine how poor restaurant it was. Okay, children? And later he helped the two boys knit the great hills of dough and in their pan, and this was hard work and made them grunt and sweat. So after that he went to mix the wheat flour along with the other two boys, and it was such a huge amount of flour they had to mix it, and it was a huge pan. So he was so tired and they were sweating. Okay, they didn't speak to each other as they worked. When the boys finally did say something to each other, Hari realized it was in Tamil, a language he did not know. So which language the boys were talking? They were talking the language of the language Tamil they were talking, and Hari did not know. So he could not communicate with them. Okay, now did they seem to know any Hindi or Marathi? So Hindi and Marathi also they did not know. So they could not communicate with each other. The two languages he knew, so they were so silent between them. They were in any case either friendly nor inquisitive. Inquisitive means curious or eager to know something. So they were also not bothering about Hari. They were also working hard and so tired. In fact, they did not have time to talk even and to entertain themselves. Okay, so they were busy in their work and they were responsible also. So about him, and they were simply too tired to speak. They were too tired to speak. They built up the fire, and then while rolled out the chapatis, the other baked them over the fire with a pair of long tongs, and Hari was given the task of carrying out to the customers. So Hari got what work? He had to carry the chapatis to the customers, and other two rolled out the chapatis and baked it in the fire. Okay, there was so much work and such a heat in that small place that no one ever seemed to have the strength or time to do. It was so hot, and also they were tired and they did not have any time to talk. Hari too felt silence. Hari also kept quiet. Okay, children, that's all today. You have to read the chapter again, understand it. It's a very simple lesson. Hope you will understand it and learn the word meanings from the word power. Okay, thank you for listening.